we'll start in with the talking about river cruising 101. So,
So, hi everyone. For me, it's evening, so I'll say good evening. For most of you, it's daytime, so good morning. And my company is called Senior Travel Buddies. Some of you are here via Senior Travel Buddies. And Senior Travel Buddies is a company that connects seniors for travel together. People who are looking for a compatible travel companion can find that on our website and or through our Facebook page and Facebook group of the same names. Happy to have you all here.
yes. And Marcy, would you tell us a little bit about you?
Absolutely. I have been in the travel industry for many, many years. I think Mindy will cover all of that, but it's a pleasure to be here. I have been with the River Line now for almost 11 years. So this is, I always say I save the best for last. River cruising is something very spectacular and very experiential, and that's what makes it so much fun. But other than that, I've been in this business a very, very long time, and it's been a lot of fun, and it is always fun to share with people dreams and create lifelong memories.
Yes. So Marcy and I go way back. We've been friends for probably close to 25 years. Between the two of us, we have over 80 years of travel industry experience. So this is not our first trip around the world.
No.
So, Mars, we're going to talk today about river cruising, and I'm going to call it River Cruising 101. This is for the people who maybe have never river cruised or cruised just once, and they're just wanting some more information, how to make it more friendly, more workable for them. So, I'm just going to jump in and I'm going to ask you, why should we river cruise?
Well, we don't have all day, so I could spend all day telling you why we should river cruise. But river cruising is the fastest growing vacation destination for the past 5 years. And I honestly think there's a whole lot of reasons, but a couple of them are the fact that you get to visit multiple countries many times and there's no inconvenience of packing and unpacking. You unpack, you arrive at your ship, and we take care of everything from that point forward. In your packaging, it includes all of your five-star dining, all of your tours, everything you can imagine we can take care of, and it's all taken care of for you. So the very important part of it is that you have a seamless, stress-free vacation. I don't know about the rest of you, but I've been on vacations at times where the vacation was more stressful than if I would have stayed at home, just because traveling isn't always easy. But we definitely make it easy. As I mentioned, you get to see several different countries on most of the itineraries. And most of all, I think it creates lifelong memories. And memories for all of us are very, very important. We know that when we save our hard-earned dollars to go on a vacation, we want that vacation to exceed our expectation. And that is truly what we strive for. We are the favorite on the river because of our ratings and because of our exclusivity and inclusivity of the packaging. So that those are just a couple of the very big highlights for the reason I think that we see river cruising growing so quickly throughout the world.
Can you tell me what are some of the things that are included, not only with Amawaterways, but just river cruising in general?
You've got with us, you've got a multiple choices each day for your excursions. So very important. A big part of your vacation is about your excursions. And in our case, we offer up to 7 a day. You've got the five-star dining available to you at every turn. No meal is the exception to that. You have the cruise manager, who is the person on board that absolutely takes care of every need or think or want that you may have. You have the crew members. We have a five-star plus rating because our crew members truly do give 150% to each one of our guests, making you feel comfortable and making you feel like, yes, this is your home for the next, hopefully more than 7 days, but sometimes that's all we can get away. Um, I think the other part of it is that we have relationships built all over the world. So there is never anything too big that we cannot handle or do not handle for any guest, regardless of what it is.
Okay, I agree. Um, Tell me a little bit, you said something about the meals were included. Are all meals there included or are there fees for some? Typically, do
Yeah.
the river cruise companies charge for additional meals that might want to do like a specialty dining or something? Is that something that's additional?
No, that is included. So we have a specialty dining restaurant called the Chef's Table, where it only seats 24 to 28 people, and it's a 9-course meal. That is all inclusive. So that's included, as well as the pairings of the local wines. And in that area as well, you have coffee cafes. So we have coffee cafes where you've got coffees, espressos, cappuccinos, lattes, the finest Swiss hot chocolate in the world with an international tea station. And all of that is included 24 hours a day. So with your meals, absolutely. But then you also have it available to you whenever you would like it.
I didn't.
There
I'm
you go.
sorry. I think somebody was asking a question. So, can you tell us the difference between the different river cruise companies? I know you work for AMA, but there are other ones out there that people have heard of,
Yes.
Viking, Avalon, Talc, Uniworld.
Mhm.
Do you mind sharing a little bit about the differences and what sets one apart from the other?
Absolutely. Many of the differences are going to be your selection of choices. So several of them will only offer you one walking tour for an hour and a half in the mornings, and then you have to purchase your other excursions.
Okay.
And that's important because some of the cities will arrive very early in the morning. And if it's a city that we feel has a terrific amount of UNESCO World Heritage sites and architecture and museums and all of these things to offer, oftentimes we'll stay till late in the evening. And if you want to do something after that first tour, first thing in the morning, you must pay for that. With us, no, you do not. Those are all included. You can put as many as you would like into your schedule each and every day.
Okay. Okay.
The other thing is probably going to be the comfort of your surroundings. Our ships are decorated and designed very customer friendly, and they are very warm and inviting. There is no fancy dress code. We don't have that. We call it country club casual, but it's really during the daytime, whatever makes you feel comfortable touring in. So, comfortable shoes, depending upon the time of year and the weather, would depend on what your wardrobe might consist of. But we want it to be your vacation. We want you to be comfortable and to feel like you're part of our family.
Okay. About how many people are on the ships?
About 150. Many of the ships in Europe cannot be built any longer than 135 meters because they cannot clear the lock system. So the majority of us on the rivers all have our ships the same length. Um, to be honest, the 135 meters, but you will oftentimes find that the other lines may board an additional 40% more people than we do, reaching the number of about 190. So our staterooms are 30 to 40% larger because we only board 150 guests.
Over, by the way.
Okay. Okay. So then, what do you think is the best itinerary for that very first river cruiser?
I think that there is no bad river itinerary, to be quite honest, but I will tell you, we really like to start our first time river cruisers on the Danube or on the Rhine. The
For 1.5
Danube,
miles.
the Danube is going to take you from basically either Nuremberg, Germany, all the way down to Budapest, Hungary, just depending upon what you're looking at. But you're going to see anywhere from 3 to 5 countries on that itinerary. And the Danube, the topography of the Danube is very mountainous, very lush, very beautiful. Some vineyards, a few castles, but a lot of palaces.
Okay.
The Rhine, on the other hand, is going to show you four countries, and it's going to take you from the beautiful floating Netherlands right on down into Switzerland. And this river, known for a bit of difference, is going to be that we go through an area, it's about 26 miles long, and we get to experience 40 castles. So you've got the Rhine Gorge. So that is going to make the difference in those two rivers. Either river have very beautiful character and many, many things to see and do. So it just depends on the person and maybe what's on their bucket list as far as countries to visit.
Okay. I can tell you, I just recently did the Rhine a couple months ago. We've traveled on the Rhine 4 or 5 different times. One of my favorite rivers. Weather, we were there in November and the weather was just absolutely beautiful. Absolutely. So I agree with you completely that the Rhine and the Danube are a great place to start for those who have never done the river. Let's talk about a typical day on the river.
Okay.
Okay.
So your morning breakfast starts about 6 a.m. No, you don't have to have breakfast at 6. We're going to serve it right up through 9, and then from 9 to 11, we serve it in a different area. So you do not have to get up early. That is really up to you. Generally, our tours will start at 9 o'clock. Our guides come in and we disperse based on this is very important based on what you have selected because your excursions have a gentle, a regular, and an active ability. So you disperse with different guides and you're ready to go. Now, as far as if you are the morning person, like I am the morning person, I'm usually at breakfast by 6:30 and I get to take my time and have lots of good things to dine on. And then we do lunch, and lunch oftentimes, or 98% of the time, is going to be right in that lunch hour area between noon and 1, 11:30 maybe to 1:30, depending upon how our tours are operating and what the tour, how long the tours are. And something very important to note is every day the menus change based on the region that you're traveling. So, we're changing regions each day, many times often, but we are going to, for the region that you're traveling in, that's what your menu is going to be based around. So you are again allowing yourself to immerse yourself with what the local people enjoy in these different countries and what they get to experience every day. And then we will have a nice happy hour reception or cocktail hour reception an hour before dinner in the evenings, and generally dinner starts about 7. And then dinner can go from 7 to midnight if that's what you choose. There is no hurry, unlike big ships. We don't have anybody coming in behind you. We can seat everybody at the dining room. So you may stay as long as you like. You know, you meet new people. Sometimes you start telling stories and you make new friends. And before you know it, there's 3 or 4 hours have gone by. You've had a beautiful meal. You're having a nice glass of wine with your new friends. There's not a hurry. So that's kind of how the meal program goes. And then in between the meal programs, we serve tapas in the lounge area. So if you do need a snack or would like a snack, and then in the afternoons, we have high tea. So we've got all of the makings for that as well.
And it's a lot of fun. It really truly is.
It is.
Mars, I know that Lori had some questions for you that Lori has traveled with Amma before and she had a great experience. And I know she's got some questions to share so that you guys can discuss it and the people that are joining us can hear those answers.
Okay, great. Thanks, Lori.
Thank you.
So my first question is, and you touched on it a little bit just then, is it easy to meet people? When I went on the cruise, actually, I met Mindi, um, but I was traveling on my own.
Mhm.
And so, what kinds of activities are available to help people meet other people?
Very good. We actually just started something new this year. I'm very excited about. It came via a suggestion from our captains. So our single travelers, I can't let the cat all the way out of the bag because then you wouldn't be surprised when you get to the ship. But we do something very special on arrival day, doing a ship tour. with our single guests now. So we take them with our single guests. Of course, we do it for the other guests, but it's done separately. So all of our single guests get together before we even set sail. So they meet each other and we go do this tour and the captain does it for us and then he drops us at a reception. So then now you've already got new friends. You come in, you sit down and it grows from there. I have traveled many years by myself and I must say people are very warm and inviting and they invite you to sit with them and before you know it, honestly, even when I travel on the river alone, probably before the first day, full day, I have always said I'm going to meet at least 10 people, and I meet at least 20 people every day. So it's a very warm, inviting, there's not a lot, there's no crowds. It's not uncomfortable. It's very, very comfortable. And we have a lot of single travelers. So we invite them, please, to join us. We wrap our arms all around them.
That was true for me with Mindy. She
Mhm.
she and her husband wrapped their arms around me. I felt so comfortable and happy to get to know them.
Good.
So, do you, Marcy, do you feel like it's safe these days to travel on a river cruise? What kind of safety precautions do river cruise companies take?
Absolutely, it's safe. I have to tell you, and I will add just a quick note in there about one of our exotic destinations that I just returned from a couple months ago now, and that was Egypt. I felt more comfortable and safer in Egypt than I do in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, as the sun goes down. Let me tell you, we have all kinds of things in place. There will be security guards, but you will never know them. They're not dressed to frighten anybody. They don't make a big issuance of themselves, but they are on the docks with us. They are always around the ship. So please know that it is your vacation is important to us, but the most important thing is your safety and our crew members' safety. So we take all the precautionary measures in every city and on the water to make sure that there is nothing that could interrupt that.
Thanks. Another
Mhm.
question.
Sure.
So, um, what time of year or times of year would I travel to find smaller crowds,
Hmm.
get better discounts, and
Okay.
still have good weather?
Okay. Okay. So we start the sailing season, to be very honest, our season has been extended. So we are starting our sailing season in February. It's a bit nippy in February, but there's a lot of folks out there that don't like heat. So that is a perfect time for them to go because there are not any crowds per se. And we've matched it up with a lot of our guests, and they'll go ski the Alps or ski the mountains in Germany when they're done sailing. So it works very well, a very nice vacation. But the majority of the ships are going to start about the third week of March, and we're going to go back out. I mean, we're going to sail all year until about that first week of January. So you have a shoulder season from March to about the first week of May, unless you're going to see the tulips. And that's high season because that's when their beautiful faces are popping with color. But the other rivers, that's going to be a shoulder season. You're going to find great value then, and you're not going to find crowds in Europe. Then from about that second week of May to the last week of May, maybe that first week of June, it picks up a little bit. It gets a bit busier. You've still got the good values there, but not big crowds. Then we come into summertime and you've got June, July, August, and September. Well, my words of wisdom are avoid September. September is the busiest month of the year on the rivers. You're not going to find the value and you're going to find lots of crowds. A big part of that, I feel like, is because that is harvest season for the vineyards, and people come from all over the world to work the harvest. And so, along with them come their families and their friends. While they're working harvest, the others are traveling, and there are lots of crowds, and everything is very full. So avoid that. July and August are a little bit warmer, so you still have some very good values during those times. I know we have triple summer savings, which is a promotion that gives you three things stacked on top of each other to be able to travel during that time. And June, it's just, it's really warming up into summer. So a beautiful time to travel as well, but you're going to have more of the crowds during that time. And then into the fall season, about the third week of October through the third week of November, terrific value. This is a time every year almost that I travel. The leaves are changing in the vineyards. The harvest is over. Oktoberfest is over because it happens in September. I know I'm a German. We're a little confused about that, but Oktoberfest is over, so the crowds are depleted and they're gone. And you have lots of good value dollar wise. There's no crowds. The air is just a little crisp in the morning and beautiful in the afternoons, and the leaves are changing. And then we start into the Christmas market season. And the Christmas markets, I must tell you, prior to COVID, I can remember when the Christmas markets were not full in the month of July of the same year. Now we're filling 2 years in advance. I mean, honestly, it is very difficult to get space, even for 2026 right now. They are so busy. I think what that taught us was that don't wait for tomorrow. We don't know what tomorrow's going to bring. If it's something you want to do, we have many, many families that travel during that time, ladies groups and sisters and families, quite honestly, multi-generational families that use that and do that as their Christmas presents. So the Christmas markets are very busy, and they generally run from that third week of November till the third week of December. And then the Europeans take their vacation, they go home and spend it with their families, and then they come back. And many of them will pack up their Christmas markets at that point. And then we go into New Year's Eve, which is a fabulous time to travel because all of the cities along the riverbanks, no matter the river, are setting off beautiful fireworks displays and doing wonderful things for New Year's Eve. And we have a beautiful gala on board. So there's not a bad time, but yes, to avoid the crowds and get the better values, that's when you're going to get them.
Marcia, I want to interject
Yes.
just a minute. The Christmas markets really truly envelop all five of your senses
Mm-hmm.
because they're so
Immersive.
personal and they're just
Mm-hmm.
beautiful. I say all the time to people when I'm talking about Christmas markets, um, if it will stand still for 5 minutes, the Europeans will hang lights on it.
Mm-hmm.
And everything is lit up and it's literally like a Hallmark movie. It
It
really
is.
truly is. It's and it's kind of like it's really not about the tourist, it's more about the Europeans because that's where they go to spend their
Mm-hmm.
time with family. After a long day of work, they bring their families together and they meet
Yes.
there and they eat and they do their shopping and it really truly is a time for them to share together. And they really truly celebrate the holiday season from that
Mm-hmm.
Thanksgiving, from the US Thanksgiving until right up until Christmas Eve. And every day the markets are
Every day.
full
Mm-hmm.
and it's just music and smell,
Magical.
gingerbread, and it's just an amazing experience. If you've not
Mm-hmm.
done the Christmas markets, you really truly should.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It's a magical time of year.
Lori, did you have any other questions?
I had one more, but what I thought might be a good idea at this point is to open it up to if anybody has a question, they can unmute and ask their question.
Actually, I have them in
Okay.
chat. And so we have a question from Sandy Clark. She asked, do you offer solo pricing? And do you have to get off the ship at docks? Can you stay on all day and just relax if you want to?
Mindy, I think I'm going to give that to you.
Absolutely. We do offer single supplement. It depends on the time of the year, depends on the sailing. But for instance, I have got a sailing right now. It's a very last minute sailing that
April.
sails in April of this year. It's actually the same itinerary that I met Lori on. It is called the Colors of Provence. And so we will sail from Arles, France up to Lyon, France. It's just a beautiful, beautiful itinerary. And we've got some incredible pricing. I cannot share online live what the pricing is, but if you see in my frame, there is a QR code. That QR code, if you will click that or scan that, it will take you directly to my calendar and you can set an appointment with me to discuss that pricing. I can tell you, you will not find this pricing anywhere else in the market. Am I correct, Mars?
It's correct. That is correct. And there's some single supplement waiver on it. So
Yes,
there is no additional cost to be traveling as a single. And
yes,
oftentimes you will find that our single supplement is much, much less than anyone else's. We
yes.
never want to eliminate that single traveler. That's for sure.
And there are every type of cabin
Cabin.
categories available. We're sold out of suites, but we do have the least expensive category, and we also have up to a double balcony. Speaking of that, Marcy, would you tell us about the different categories of staterooms
Mhm.
quickly so people know kind of what we're talking about?
Sure. So we have several different cabin category types. The first one is going to be what we call a fixed window stateroom. And it's got two big windows along a wall. You have to stand up to look out. We have a tendency every once in a while to call it a swan view because the swans are beautiful in Europe. But anyway, to be very honest, this is where we travel as crew members or as company people. They're beautifully appointed. They're very spacious. They all have the amenities like the safe and everything else, lots of closet space that the other staterooms do. But I'm also a believer you go to the river to see all of the sights along the river. And this one makes it a bit tough because if we dock on that side, you're looking at the concrete dock. So then we have the next cabin category is going to be a French balcony. And the French balcony, you're opening the beautiful doors, getting the fresh air of the river, the beautiful sights along the way, but you don't step out into the elements. There is a railing right there. Then the next one is going to be double balconies or twin balconies, and you're going to have a French and a step out balcony in the same stateroom. Your step out balcony, the doors close behind you so you can control the temperature in that stateroom, and you have tables and chairs. So just whatever is happy for you, whatever you want to make and do, believe you me, they are all beautiful and well appointed accommodations and they all offer something special. So just whatever works for you and in your budget. Don't not go if you think you don't want to stay in the fixed window. If that's what your budget allows, please know you are still going to get all the amenities that everyone else does on board.
Okay, so our next question was Tanya, I hope I'm saying that right, says, do people travel with children at all?
Yes, Tanya, we are the only river line that is multi-generational. So we take children from the age of 6. Now, I'm going to be very honest in telling you, we don't have anything on board scheduled for them to do. So if it's a situation where they need to be entertained or, we would ask you as a parent or grandparent or whomever to bring things for them to do, but they are welcome to join a family. Do we have lots of them? Generally, you'll find a multi-generational families traveling maybe in the height of summer or over Christmas because the families travel during that time. So you're not going to get on board and find a whole bunch of children. No. If you find one or two, that's generally what we have. Now we do have more of the teenage type years, the 12s, the 13s, the 17s, because they'll get on the bicycles and take off and have their day and come back and meet for lunch and take off again and go hiking and all of those things. So we really believe there is something for everyone, but with a smaller child, you do need to bring something for them to entertain. They can go on your tours with you, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes. So Tanya made the comment that my QR code was too small to scan. So
Okay.
I am going to, in the chat, give you my email address. And if you will just shoot me an email, I will send you a link to my calendar for us to set a time to talk. So I will be doing that toward the end of the event. I can
Okay.
also give it to you here. It is T like Tom, R Romeo, V Victor, L Lima, the word girl, GIRL, 71 at gmail.com.
And we'll give you that again. Yeah.
And yes, is food provided for the excursions? Wendy asked.
Okay, so Wendy, about 98% of our excursions are going to be after or between meals. We will always give you the opportunity to return to the ship and dine with your five-star dining program. Sometimes you'll have people that maybe are in a city in the afternoon or the right around the lunchtime and they want to try something that the local people try. So they may stay back behind. But all of your meals are included, and we will always return you to the ship or we will provide lunch.
Good deal. Does anyone else have any other questions? I think we've covered all the questions that are in the chat. Lori, did you have a couple more questions for Marci?
Speaking of meals,
Uh-huh.
Marcy, if someone has special dietary considerations, will they be accommodated?
Absolutely. Absolutely they will. The only thing we can't really do is kosher because it has to be blessed by the rabbi before sundown, and we don't have anyone available to do that. But every dietary requirement, vegetarian, celiac, we have an entire gluten-free menu. I had a lady that traveled with me, believe it or not. She ate only vegetables and nothing green. I thought she was going to be really hungry. But keeping in mind that the beautiful country of Germany raises some of the finest white asparagus in the world. So she was in heaven because she got to eat every single day fresh vegetables. But yes, we just need to know this ahead of time so that Mindy can document the booking and our executive chef can meet with our guest and they will have special menus every day. And everything is served fresh on these ships. These are small ships. We do not have storage room. So they literally go to the markets and they pick out everything fresh for us. So,
Is it
yes.
possible to go with the chef to do that?
Funny. Yes, you can. I'm going to tell you it's quite an experience. They touch, feel, smell, squeeze. They do everything to every single vegetable they buy, every single fruit, every single herb, every single item that they do. I did this one time. I was there about 3.5 hours, and I thought, you know what? I think I just don't need to go to the market again with them. But yes, you may join them, and it's really fun because they talk to you about how they mix their flavors, how they think about their herbs, where their herbs come from. Maybe herbs are fresher this time of year on this river and they're not so fresh on this river, so we exchange the fresh herbs. I mean, it's wonderful. Yes, you can. They love to tell you all about it.
And the best way to do that is just let me know so that
Yeah.
I can put a message to the cruise manager. If I'm not sailing with you, I can get
Mhm.
a message to the cruise manager and he can share that with the executive chef and we can get that arranged for you.
Yeah. The other thing to remember is because these are not big ships, we don't operate the way the ocean does. But you can also go to the engine room and see how these engines, I have to tell you, I've done it and it is meticulous. You could eat off of the engines themselves. I was amazed. The other thing is you can always visit the bridge. So you go to the reception area and you tell the receptionist that you would like to do these things, and they arrange it with our chief engineer and our captain. It is a wonderful thing to do. I hope everybody will take advantage of it because it's wonderful to see how they do things on the rivers very different than the big bodies of water being the oceans.
So we had two more questions from the guests. One is, what is the transportation off ship?
Just depending upon your city and depending upon which river we are at. We have beautiful first class motor coaches if we need to commute to get you to an area where we want you to see everything. Some of them will just walk off, go up 4 or 5 stairs, or go straight onto a street, and everything is right where we're docked. So it just depends on the city, depends on the river, and where everything is located in that village. But we do the five-star. They're beautiful motor coaches, heat, air, restroom accommodations if you need that.
Most
But
of them have
yes,
outlets to
yes,
keep your
yes
phone
for your
plugged in.
phones and all of that. Yes.
So we had another question is, what if it rains daily? What is there to do?
Oh my goodness. Well, we're not going to cancel generally any of the tours. And if it's a rainy or misty, I've been over there many years and I've really never had a rainstorm like we have rainstorms here. It has been misty and, a little bit dreary, but we have umbrellas on board for you to take for yourself. You don't need to bring all of that stuff. Sometimes we have the ponchos if we feel we need that. We've got those for you. And we just go on. The Europeans are really amazing people as well as many, many other cultures, but that doesn't stop them. They keep going. They go to their market on the way home. They go to work in the daytime. They ride their bicycles. Life carries on. And really on board, life carries on for us as well. If you chose one day not to want to go do anything or get off the ship, you may stay. And let me tell you, they take really good care of you on board. They're always checking on you, making sure you have everything you need. Do you need any more tea? And all kinds of things. They do wonderful things. So, yeah, we don't really cancel. The only thing we might cancel would be a bicycle ride if it's dangerous. And other than that, we carry on.
So we've got a couple more questions popping into the chat. What itinerary would be best to get close to the Dolomite Mountains and to add pre or post visit?
That's a good question.
The
Mindy,
Dolomites are Italy,
yeah,
correct?
right, I
So,
believe so.
so wouldn't it be my thought,
Probably Rhine Castles and Swiss Alps
Rhine Castles and
because
Swiss Alps?
um, that's going to take them into Lake Como as an option.
Yes.
So, Italy is a beautiful country and a very popular place to visit, but Italy really only has one river, and that's the Elbe River. And the Elbe River has a tendency about three-fourths of the year to be without water. So at one point, we built a ship to go to the Elbe River, and then we watched it for a couple years, and it's never happening. So everything is always canceled. And our ownership, they truly believe when you book a vacation, we need to work our very best to exceed your expectation. And if we were constantly canceling, that is not who we are. We would not want the disappointment for our guests. So the only way with us that we do Italy is to do the Rhine River and then to extend into Lake Como, Italy. And from there, you can venture on.
The other thing we can do is
Yes.
we could do the Rhone and
Uh-huh.
we could do independently a private trip
Yes.
for you to the Dolomites.
Yes.
I am completely independent. I can build something completely independent for you. So if
Certainly.
you have a river that you specifically want to do, say you want to do the Rhone for the wines and all of everything that the
That the
Roman history,
mhm.
but you want to do the Dolomites, let's chat because I can create that
Mhm.
private itinerary for you specifically to the Dolomites, or we'll pick you up at the ship or the hotel, whichever you decide, and we'll do that. We'll lay that itinerary out for you
Mhm.
completely personalized. So the next question is disability issues, and we haven't really touched on this. If I need a wheelchair, what would that work on the ships, and what about excursions?
Okay, so wheelchairs we do not have on the ships, but we can order them through a service and they will deliver them to the ship for us. On the ships, yes, they work just fine because we have elevator service. So you can take it, in the elevator and get to the deck of your stateroom or whatever you would like. They can also go into the dining rooms, into the lounge areas, into the public areas. The only deck that you would not be able to take the wheelchair to is going to be the sun deck because the elevator does not go to the sun deck level. Other than that, you can push them off the ship. It may be a situation where there's a few stairs that we have to go up to get to the street. As long as you have someone helping you to get up those, we of course will help you if you are walking. We just don't have always enough crew members to push the wheelchair and do all of that for you. So we would say please have someone with you. To help you with that as well. But yes, we can accommodate that. And the staterooms, generally what we do in the staterooms is the wheelchair either stays outside of the door or we store it and bring it to you when you need it once you're ready to leave your stateroom so that it's not taking up too much space in your stateroom. We can bring in benches for your shower. It's a totally different experience over there with some disabilities because they do not have the the restrictions and rules that we do here in the United States. But that is something, absolutely talk with Mindy, and we can get on a conference call or whatever and see if it's feasible. We want to make sure that your vacation is everything you want it to be. And if it's feasible, fantastic. If it's not, maybe we can find some alternatives for you.
I do want to say there are probably some itineraries that are more accommodating for wheelchairs than others.
Yes.
I've talked a lot about the Rhone. The Rhone's not necessarily wheelchair friendly, a lot of up and down hills into the
Mhm.
vineyards. The Netherlands and Belgium is an absolutely beautiful
Perfect.
itinerary.
Mhm.
The Danube is a great
Danube is a
itinerary.
good itinerary.
Great
Yeah.
itinerary. Even the Rhine, for the most
Right.
part, is.
Right.
So some of the more exotic Europeans, Portugal and
Yeah.
Spain, those are
Yeah.
not necessarily as user-friendly, but we can accommodate with a scooter too. So there is that. But those issues we can handle each individually as well. So I
Right.
encourage you to reach out to me directly. I did get my email in the QR code.
Mhm.
The chat is the link to Senior Travel Buddies. There is a link to Anywhere But Here Travel. The QR code is there. I will put my phone number in the chat. I can give it to you as well. It's if you're in the US, 316-409-0174. And it is the same on WhatsApp if you are using WhatsApp. So, US code +1. So, Marci, I thank you so much for taking some time with us today and visiting with us. It's been very educational. We appreciate all of your knowledge. You are a wealth of knowledge, and I just appreciate you so much, my dear friend. Lori, thank you so much for this opportunity to share in partnership with you. I think that there are many, many opportunities for seniors that are looking to travel with family or friends. Please reach out to me. I would be glad to visit with you. Doesn't have to be about the river. We do everything in our company.
Mhm. Mhm.
We're privately owned. It's just myself and my husband. And so I invite you to join us on any of our groups, and I can help you individually as well. So the question was, who does Marci work for? Marci works for Amawaterways. So that is the company that she represents. When Lori traveled on the river, she traveled with Amawaterways. I'm on the river probably 3 or 4 times a year. And I'd say 95% of those are on Amawaterways. They're just an excellent, excellent river cruise company. So I look forward to seeing you guys again soon. We will be having another Travel Talk Tuesday on February the 11th. Marci will actually be joining us again on that day, and we're going to be talking about some specific itineraries and different things to do on specific itineraries. So if there's a river that you think you want to talk about, drop me a note in the chat and we'll make sure that we have that information for you. If not, thank you so much for joining us today. Anybody have anything else to say quickly?
Thank you, Lori and Mindy, for inviting me to join you. And thank you, everyone, for taking some time out of your day today to join us. We look forward to hosting you on any river at any time or wherever your dreams may want to take you. Mindy can certainly accommodate that. Thank you, Lori. Everybody stay safe.
Thank
And
you.
hopefully, where you are, it's warmer than it is where I am. So,
Amen. It's cold in Kansas today. So
yeah.
thank you all so much. I look forward to
Bye,
talking to you
everyone.
soon. Bye.
Bye bye.